Now, if you have not subscribed to NBA Now or Chat Sports, you are missing out because we have the best NBA coverage all the time. Right now, I'm going to be breaking down top 10 under-the-radar free agents for you, and I can guarantee you we have all the best free agency coverage on the internet, and it's free all the time. So scroll on down, hit that big red subscribe button. I promise you will not regret it. And if you do, guess what? 100% money back guaranteed. I'll tell you that much right now. Let's start with my first under-the-radar free agent. He has become under the radar now, and if you were watching Chat Sports last summer, you know this is painful for me to admit. It's Carmelo Anthony. He is an unrestricted free agent this offseason, excuse me. I guess it's not the summer anymore because it's all happening in the fall. And he had a bounce-back year with the Portland Trail Blazers. He proved everyone, and I mean everyone, including me, that he can still contribute to a winning team, and that he did with the Blazers, who snuck into the playoffs by some miracle as an 8 seed, challenged the Lakers in one game, and then lost the next 4. But it was at least fun, and Melo had another run at it and proved he can be a good option for a team either as a starter or off the bench. Now, you look at the big difference for Melo. He went from an inefficient 13 points per game and 6 rebounds, didn't shoot better than 33% from the 3, 40% from the field, wasn't passing the ball, and was injured most of the time in Houston, to being a 15-point-per-game guy in Portland, pulling down 6 rebounds, shooting better than 38% from 3, and being a true difference maker in the starting 5. And people are all over the map on Carmelo Anthony. You're either a hater or you're a believer. So if you're a hater, like I once was, you can type H for hater. And now I am still a hater on a lot of things and on a lot of players, but I have transitioned into a believer of Carmelo Anthony. I truly believe that he is a solid option and an under-the-radar free agent for some contender to pick up. I've turned. I am a believer. So let me know, are you a hater or a believer in Melo? Let's go to my next under-the-radar free agent, Jerami Grant. Now, he has a $9 million player option that he is going to decline for the Denver Nuggets, and the reason he's going to decline that is because he was a defensive stopper against the Los Angeles Lakers, and he's earned himself a sizable pay increase this offseason. In the playoffs, he put up 12 points per game and 3 rebounds for the Western Conference finalists, the Denver Nuggets. He also shot better than 32% from 3, which is a bit lower than his season average, but it was really solid, and I think some team is going to be very, very happy to land Jerami Grant for probably $15 to $16 million in the offseason and in the open market. I think he is well worth that. Evan Fournier of the Orlando Magic, let me tell you what, this dude can shoot the lights out of a gym. He also, like Jerami Grant, has a player option that I would truly expect him to opt into, so he might not even be a free agent by the time free agency rolls around at $17 million. But over the past 4 years, he has proven himself as one of the most consistent scorers on this Magic team. This past year, led the team in scoring at 19 points per game and shot better than 39% from 3. Now, the year before that, in 2018-2019, took a little bit of a step back, but before that, he was consistently averaging 17 and 3 assists and shooting better than 35% from 3. A great bailout option for the Orlando Magic, a great 6-man option for some contending team, but don't get yourself too excited because he does have a $17 million player option that I would expect him to opt into before free agency rolls around. Another player option guy and another really good shooter is Tim Hardaway Jr. Now, his player option is worth $18.9 million, and on the Dallas Mavericks, he proved himself as the third option in their offense alongside Luka and Kristaps Porzingis. Now, I don't think he's going to decline his player option. I think he will opt into that, and for good reason. It's a lot of money, but he took a huge step forward in his game. Over the last 6 years between his time with the Knicks and then Atlanta and then back with the Knicks, he was only scoring 13 points per game and only shooting 34% from 3. Now, and this past year with the Mavs, a actual good team, he put up 15 points per game and shot the ball 40.8% from 3. That is elite, and he's going to make a team very happy, whether it's the Mavs and he opts in or if he opts out and takes some money elsewhere. Someone's going to get a steal in Tim Hardaway Jr. And if you're a Mavs fan and you want to know where Tim Hardaway Jr. ends up, you can go subscribe to our All Things Mavs channel. Go to youtube.com/allthingsmavs. I've got you covered there every single day on, guess what? All things Dallas Mavericks. Let's go to another free agent target for a lot of teams flying under the radar, Serge Ibaka of the Toronto Raptors. Now, I feel like this dude's been in the NBA for as long as I can remember, but somehow he's just 31 years old and still has a lot left to give to the NBA. Now, I think at this point in his career, whether he stays with the Raptors or goes somewhere else, he's probably going to try to sign with a contender so that he can win another ring like he did last year with Toronto. He has consistently put up 15 points per game 3 of the past 4 years and has blocked at least 1.5 shots per game as well. Now, remember, one of the best things about Serge Ibaka and one of the ways that he has transitioned his game and transformed it so much is he's become a stretch 4, stretch 5 option, and that's going to make him very valuable on the open market. Another veteran of the NBA is Goran Dragic, who, although he's 34 years old, he's played his way into one last, I think, multi-year contract, at least 2, maybe 3 years. And he has led this Heat team in scoring in the NBA playoffs. He's been outstanding. Now, of course, he has suffered an injury in the NBA Finals, and we'll have to see how that affects his free agency. But throughout the playoffs for the Eastern Conference finalists that are the Miami Heat, he's put up 19 points per game and dished out 5 assists, as well as pulling down 4 rebounds and shooting an efficient 35.9% from beyond the three-point arc. I think Goran Dragic is a solid option as a starter or as a player off the bench for any team. So I want to know from you guys, which team do you think should sign Goran Dragic in the offseason? Make your predictions down below in the comment section. One team that needs to get Goran Dragic. I've already heard teams like the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Mavs showing interest, but there's a good chance he ends up right back in Miami. And if you want to put on a Miami jersey just like the pros are, you can go to chatsports.com/NBA jerseys. Get your authentic NBA jerseys that are shipping for free for a limited time only from our friends over at Fanatics. You can get any team and any player you want. Rep all your favorites at chatsports.com/NBA jerseys. That's jerseys plural. Don't forget the S at the very end of that. And also, go ahead, open up a new tab. You can copy and paste that link. It's going to be down in the description and in the comment section. Let's talk about another big man, Tristan Thompson of the Cleveland Cavaliers, an unrestricted free agent this offseason. Much like Serge Ibaka, he is surprisingly young at 29 years old, but the Cavs, although they've been loyal to Tristan Thompson for a long time, are probably going to move on from him because they've got Andre Drummond, who has a player option that he'll probably pick up and stay in Cleveland. They've got Kevin Love, who's still under contract for probably the rest of our lives. Larry Nance Jr. is still a solid option off the bench and in the starting lineup. And they even have Ante Zizic, who is a solid young player they want to develop. Really makes it likely that they don't bring back Tristan Thompson in free agency. And some team is going to get a guy that's still averaging a 12-point double-double. Another veteran big man is Paul Millsap, a guy that everyone saw play in the playoffs against the Lakers and were like, yo, this guy can still play, and he can still play pretty solid defense. Now, he is 35 years old, and that makes him more of a mid-level exception-type player, especially because he's had some injury problems these past couple of years. But his jump shot has become extremely reliable, something we didn't see early on in his career, and he averaged 43.5% shooting from beyond the three-point arc with this Denver Nugget team that made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals and probably wouldn't have been able to do it without Paul Millsap, a guy that a lot of people are going to want on their favorite team. So I got a 2-part question coming up here for you. I want you to name one free agent that you want your favorite team to sign. Like, Jimmy, that's just one question. No, it's a 2-parter. You got to tell me what your favorite team is, and then you got to tell me one free agent you want to see them go out and get down in the comment section. And maybe that guy's Christian Wood of the Detroit Pistons, who had a breakout season, or I guess breakout second half of the season with the Pistons when Blake Griffin got hurt. Now, he's still super young. He's only 25. So I think Detroit is going to overpay to keep him in a Pistons uniform, because look at the difference in this man's numbers from before the All-Star break until after the All-Star break. He went from 11 points per game to 24 points per game, 5 rebounds to 10 rebounds, 38% consistently from beyond the three-point arc, although he was taking a lot more after the All-Star break. The efficiency went up, and the minutes shot up from 19 minutes per game to 34.6. I like Christian Wood a lot. I think he is a great guy that not a lot of people are talking about, so might be able to buy low on him this summer or offseason. Now let's go to Derrick Favors, another veteran big man, and the last player we're going to talk about on this list. a guy like Tristan Thompson who's 29 years old. And since the Pelicans are trying to get younger right now, they're probably going to let him walk because some team is going to pay him money to start on their team, something the Pelicans I don't think are willing to do. He's proven himself very consistent at about 12 rebounds, 7 assists as an average over the past 4 years, and shooting the ball efficiently. This past year, 61.7% from the field. Super, super efficient. Now, he is more of a back-to-the-basket kind of big man and not so much a stretch-the-floor big man, which a lot of teams like in their NBA system right now. I still like this guy. Buy low and go ahead and get an efficient rebounder like Derrick Favors. So I mentioned 10 different guys. Talked about 10 of them. Started off with Carmelo Anthony and worked our way down all the way to Derrick Favors. So of those 10 guys, or maybe you have another name that I didn't even mention, who's going to be the best under-the-radar free agent signing this offseason?